簡単なことです。魔女の申しよりあなたを奪いに参りました。
Yeah, that's not happening. Aside from being one of the best dialogue-heavy setup episodes I've ever seen, this will also be the final setup episode of the season. Yet, it was still packed full of memorable scenes. Garfiel becomes the Shield Saint, Rom and Emilia discover Yuri, Puck returns for the 7th time, Elsa fights Garfiel, Frederica fights Garfiel, and even though Subaru was absent for most of the episode, when Petra needed a head pat the most, he was there. Like I said though, this was a setup episode, meaning we have a lot more to look forward to, especially because we got like 4 different cliffhangers at once. I don't know about you guys, but next week I'm expecting to witness some of the greatest fight scenes of all time in the new episode of X-Arm. This episode began exactly how every episode should. With Otto. The 3 idiots have some of the funniest interactions in ReZero, and I found it rather adorable how Garfiel treats Subaru like he's the coolest guy in the world. The reason these 2 shields are the perfect weapons for Garfiel is that his unarmed strength is more powerful than most melee weapons anyway, so if he held a sword, it would actually lower his DPS. I love the OST they used for Rom's conversation with Emilia. It fit perfectly and really helped emphasize the importance of what was happening. Previously, Rom only respected Emilia because Roswaal ordered it, but finally, for the first time ever, Rom's chosen to do so using her own free will independent of Roswaal, thus establishing a new dynamic between herself and Emilia. But as soon as it gets a little spicy, Roswaal conveniently interrupts. It was kind of funny how Rom literally just asked Emilia to save Roswaal, but the second he shows up, Emilia prepares to fucking kill him. I liked how confident he was in his entrance though. He walked up to them like an absolute Chad, but as the conversation progresses, that confidence fades away after Emilia sticks up for herself. Nani? I would like to point out that in the source material, Roswaal is repeatedly referred to as a devil by the narrator, which is ironically the exact insult Roswaal himself directed at Hector last week. So in case you were still questioning Roswaal's status as a villain, there you go. Although, on the bright side, it looks like his daughter turned out just fine. Anyway, up until now, Rom has always been loyal to Roswaal, so if anyone's wondering why she suddenly chose to betray him, well, she probably saw last week's episode. Roswaal and Rom have always appeared to have a more than friendly relationship. This plot point has been hinted at repeatedly throughout pretty much the entire series. Yes, it was a bit obvious, but this week's episode finally gave us some confirmation. As we know, Roswaal only has heterochromic eyes for one woman. Yet Rom was able to spy on him using clairvoyance. To borrow someone's vision with clairvoyance, both the target and caster must have matching wavelengths or it doesn't work. Normally, it's easy for Rom to synchronize with lesser beings like animals and mob beasts, but a powerful mage like Roswaal should be able to prevent her from using clairvoyance on him as long as his heart is closed off to her. So after successfully using clairvoyance on Roswaal, what Rom felt was joy, because it meant Roswaal's heart was open to her. This highlights yet another contradiction of Roswaal's ideology. He claims to only care about the witch and nothing else, but deep down, he's got feelings for Rom too. Now, should we ship this? No. A relationship with Roswaal would probably be an abusive one, plus Roswaal, she's too young for you, bro. Anyway, I hope that whole clairvoyance part made sense to everyone. What doesn't make sense is why Rom has a clown fetish. I won't judge, but if she wants to fuck a warlock, even Gul'dan would have been a better option than Roswaal at this point. I guess Rom developed a dependency after relying on him for mana every night, or maybe she's just a big fan of his Hector cosplay, I don't know. Realistically, it's probably a type of Stockholm Syndrome because Roswaal reveals that he's responsible for the destruction of Rom and Rem's homeland. At this point, it seems like Roswaal is literally the orchestrator of every tragedy in existence. You think JFK was shot by Lee Harvey Oswald? More like Lee Harvey Roswald. But did Roswaal orchestrate the attack on Rom and Rem's Oni village? I doubt it. The dialogue was very vague, even in both novels, but my interpretation is that although Roswaal has no connections or loyalty to the witch cult, he knew they would attack the Oni village on their own, yet he did nothing to stop them, thus making him partially responsible. Remember that everything Roswaal does is according to his gospel, so although this season of ReZero has been building him up to seem like the ultimate villain, he's really just the ultimate simp following orders from the book his waifu gave him. His obsession obsession with the witch dictates his every thought, and 99% of everything Roswaal does is predetermined by the Gospel's orders. In this case, it probably told him to rescue Rom, but because it didn't say to stop the witch cult's attack, he just let them burn down the rest of the village and turned a blind eye to it. Probably the yellow one, if I had to guess. Because he could have easily saved the village but chose not to, Roswaal is partially responsible for what happened. Although, if his gospel specifically instructed him not to interfere, then that would make Echidna responsible instead. Now, if that's the case, then it would add a whole new level of significance to Rom's objective this episode. It might appear that she's battling against Roswaal, but truthfully, she's really battling against Echidna in competition for Roswaal. Puck versus Roswaal is a fight I've always wanted to see, and also something I've speculated about quite a bit. I've also speculated about what might happen if they didn't fight each other but instead fell in love and had children. Ignoring what I just said, in terms of raw magical power, Puck is stronger than Roswaal. But in terms of accuracy and control, Roswaal is stronger than Puck. So in a fight between the two of them, the result would be a draw. And when I say draw, I mean the maps of the world would have to be redrawn. I know I cut the music just now, but it wasn't a joke. That's actually what happened the last time these two fought. They literally reshaped the fucking continent. But this time is different. Roswaal is injured, and Puck isn't alone. With Rom on his side, Puck appears to have an advantage, although he can't borrow Emilia's mana anymore. Regardless, the true loser of this fight is going to be either the Sanctuary or everyone that hasn't read the light novel and has to wait another week to find out what happened. Aside from that, it's hard to say who the winner would be, since both Puck and Roswaal are pretty much equal. Unlike Puck and Reinhardt, I wouldn't even call that a fight.
I'm a god. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much how it went. Speaking of Reinhardt though, I found it ironic how Garfiel said no one can run from Reinhardt right before meeting someone who ran from Reinhardt. But the idiom does exist for a reason. Because of his divine protections, it's impossible for Reinhardt's attacks to be evaded. So Elsa was hit directly, yet she survived, and that isn't supposed to happen. We also watched Beatrice turn Elsa into a shattered pile of unicorn shit, but she survived that too. Elsa was already scary enough as she was, but it's become evident that her fearlessness is probably the result of a secret ability or some kind of trick she uses to escape death. I've read a lot of interesting theories in the comment section, but some of them I can refute. It's true that Elsa's cloak is able to block a single magic spell, which we saw in Season 1, but Beatrice casted a multi-layer barrage of attacks that literally shattered Elsa's body to pieces. Her cloak might have blocked the first attack, but after that it would have been irrelevant. I've also heard suggestions that Elsa may possess a divine protection, but I'd like to remind you that in Season 1, Episode 3, Elsa voiced her jealousy after noticing Felt's divine protection, implying that she wasn't so fortunate to have one herself. So if she doesn't have a divine protection, how does Elsa keep surviving all these fatal attacks? What I can tell you as a novel reader is that Elsa's true power is her ability to hide her nipples. On a serious note, her mysterious ability might be enough to give her the advantage over Garfiel. And aside from him, I don't think any of these other characters could even stand a chance against Elsa. Except Beatrice, but as we know, she's busy being the ultimate introvert. And of course, we're left with another giant cliffhanger, forcing us to wait an entire week to find out what Subaru says next. Hey Beatrice, if you don't want this, then dodge. This episode concluded Volume 14, meaning there's only one left to adapt, and I know it might be depressing, but the reality is we've only got 4 episodes left of Season 2. I'm sad that it's ending, but this arc's conclusion really is the best part, so at least we've got some amazing episodes waiting for us. Also, everyone at White Fox who contributed to Volume 14's adaptation deserves to have their dick sucked immediately. Not only was it extremely faithful to the source material, but every episode was close to 30 minutes long, and that's something that wouldn't be possible without an abundance of hard work and love for ReZero. If my math is correct, this episode is a 10 out of 10, and the highlight for me was, surprisingly, the art. So far, the art has been the worst thing about this season of ReZero, yet I thought it really shined in this episode. There was a bit of cut dialogue, but as usual, really nothing of dire importance was omitted. It was just a really impressive setup episode. I can only hope the payoff episodes that follow it are just as good. Really hyped for next week, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section, and please drop me a like to support my channel. More importantly though, keep talking about ReZero. Take care everyone, peace out.